Rock Island, its construction began, I believe, a little bit before 1900 on the eastern end and was completed in about 1903. So the railroad was very important to these towns. And it was the lifeblood for the town for a long time. It's kind of amazing if you look at the infrastructure of the Rock Island, the bridges, the tunnels, the cuts, to think of all of that being done in the early 1900s with dynamite and mules and all of that. It's pretty remarkable to see what they were able to accomplish. So the railroad ceased operation in 1979. Ameren bought that, and then they made a donation of the 144 miles of the rail corridor to state parks. So the Rock Island begins, for our section, it begins in Pleasant Hill. And we have 47 miles developed from Pleasant Hill down to Windsor, Missouri right now. Then we have 144 miles that is undeveloped that goes from Windsor across the state and ends up over in Beaufort, Missouri, 144 miles away. So we have 6 or 7 communities that are developing within their city limits. We do have a county that's developing within a portion of their county. People can ride those trails now, walk on them. There's a lot of high energy there and excitement about the trail.
For the Rock Island line, it's a mighty good road. For the Rock Island line, it's a road to ride. For the Rock Island line, it's a mighty good road. If you want to ride, you got to ride it like you're bound to get your ticket at the station on the Rock Island line.
Hi, Leah.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
So good to see you today.
Come on in. I'll show you around.
Oh, great. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank
Yes,
you.
we have a lot of original items to the hotel, the stove, the keys, the register.
So as I began to work on the Rock Island Trail project, I began to travel some of the different communities along the trail and was really fascinated by the history of the buildings, the stories of the people in that area, and how dramatically they were influenced by the railroad that came through in 1905. And I began to look at the fact that we could probably link together these communities and these historic sites along the 205-mile corridor. And I thought that Clio would be a really excellent tool to do this. Clio was created by David Trowbridge, who's a professor at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. It's an open access and a free platform. It's designed to identify historical sites and locations around the United States. And the idea is you can use this platform to record information about that historic site. It could be a building, a cemetery, a Civil War site, something historic about that area. So we talked to Missouri Humanities, and we think it fits extremely well together. You know, Missouri Humanities is about connecting people together, Missourians together, and all that mission of Missouri Humanities fits so well with this project.
This is Samuel Elizabeth Martin that established the hotel. Her daughter Lucy, which was the proprietor after they passed away. When Granny Martin, she turned 100 years old, they had a big celebration in town.
She was 100?
She died. She was 106 when she died.
Okay.
But
It's just such a blessing that these places were maintained and restored, and you still have this living place where anybody can come and see it, and that's going to be a great gym along the Rock Island Trail.
This was actually
Well, I've always been interested in history in general, especially local history. I think, like, anywhere I am, I'm always the kind of person who's like, why is this here? How did it get here? How did this come to be? So I am doing so much research into, like, the local history of so many of these towns with kind of the vision and the trust and hope that eventually that it's all going to be connected and that there's going to be a path for people who want to travel across the state of Missouri.
I mean, these were railroad towns. And so when the railroad went away, it was more than just a loss of jobs and, and paychecks and economic drive in the community. It was a loss of identity. You were a railroad town and you were proud of being a railroad town, and all of the different industries and support and things that came about to support the railroad industry in these towns. When the railroad went away, who are we, right? Yeah. But I can tell you we see this especially in smaller towns like so many of the Rock Island towns around the country where they get this opportunity to build a trail connecting these towns. It does become part of their identity. I think as the trail develops and connects and as it becomes an asset for economic development and all that, that sense of identity is going to grow because you're going to see more small business and cottage industry catering to trail business.
No, he's just Stanley to me. I'm never going to say his last name again.
As you know, we are a special project with funding through the Missouri Humanities. And so it allows us to go to the 22 communities along the Rock Island Trail and to find a historic location in each of those communities and then write up what's called a CLIO. The CLIO is like a short entry that gives some history of that particular location and about the town. And so then we're going to link them into a tour so that when you go to Barnett, then you might go to Eldon and you might go to Owensville. And if you're in Owensville, you might come to Barnett, right? So
Yes.
that's the idea.
Get on in, everybody. And then there was a house
So
next to it,
let's-
on 14th Third, is the other house, and it used to be a mortuary.
Okay. Generally speaking, it's a building, a school, a church, a cemetery, a Civil War site, something of that nature that ideally we would find kind of the most significant one. And in the best case scenario, it would be a location where people could actually go and see it and maybe go in and understand it and kind of live that history, if you will. So I will continue to touch base with these communities I have a lot of experience with, but we'll also reach out to historical societies and individuals to hopefully stand up individuals, volunteers that will write these CLIOs too, right? The idea would be to try to engage more people in the process. So there's a lot of stories to tell.
This is the start of the creation of a 450-mile rail trail loop in Missouri when the Rock Island meets at both ends with the Katy Trail. This is going to be internationally significant.
Well, I think the Rock Island Trail, when it comes through, it's going to breathe new hope into these small towns. And you know, Rocheport's a living example of how a trail can resurrect a community. And we've benefited from the Katy Trail now here in Rocheport for 35 years. So I'm excited because I feel like these little towns are about to experience a whole new chapter in their lives. Even next month, 3 more towns are going to break ground on their little pieces. Because if anything, we've already proven the track record on the Katy.
Right.
It brings
Yeah.
nothing but great people to town, appreciate what we're doing. People want like the authentic, real experience of what's going on in these towns. The Rock Island has a heck of a story to share.
You know what's amazing for Missourians right now is the Katy Trail was truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And as Missourians, we seized that opportunity. And the question now is, can lightning strike twice? And I think the answer is yes, it can. I think the Rock Island Trail has an opportunity to grow, much like the Katy has, to help support these small towns, help preserve history, help create more opportunities for local jobs, and improve quality of life for the people that live along the trail.
1, 2, 3.
This is a great day today. We started off in Gerald, Missouri with ribbon cutting for the first mile of this 144-mile section of the Rock Island Trail. We're in Owensville, who's just done a super job of creating 2.5 miles and plans to go even farther in both directions. We're going to move on to Bell and have a groundbreaking, but I told this story in Gerald, and I think it's appropriate. It's that old Chinese proverb that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step, and today was that giant step. I'm excited. It's a great way. We got to get this started, and no better way to do it than to have a few ribbon cuttings and the groundbreaking, and we're on our way to build 144 miles of trail.
I'm Tasia. Nice to meet you. I'm Mercy. Mercy.
Being at the ribbon cutting and seeing these little pockets of the trail was really incredible because so many people have put so many years into bringing this trail to life, to making it happen, and the fact that I get to contribute a little piece of that in kind of creating the history of these towns and the hope that eventually it's going to be a trail that's going to span the state was really, truly incredible.